Welcome, young and old, to the greatest escape room talk show. This is Puzzle Talk. I am Tone, and we're here live, and this week we are here with Christina and Mike.
Hi.
Hello.
No one's had their coffee. So, we have an onslaught of awesome topics here today, and we're going to get rolling on them. And if you want to join in on the conversation, by all means, join us in the chat room. We are watching it live, and our feed is pretty responsive. So usually, like within 3 seconds, your chat message appears in our screen, and we're able to respond. So we're still on topic. We're not like 2 topics ahead. So how was everyone's weekend?
Slow.
Boring.
It's kind of nice.
I did fence posts my whole weekend. Well, yesterday. It was horrible. I never want to do it again. And my daughter bit me. Right here. Thanks, Liv. When I bite you when you're 22, you'll know why. So, first topic of the day. The Star Wars Hotel.
I don't like Star Wars.
Me neither.
Me either.
But this is pretty relevant to us because there's a lot of escape room elements to the design of this.
Mm-hmm.
So, some bullet points that we can talk about. The Star Wars Hotel is a 2-day event. It's an immersive theater, escape room, ride, and obviously hotel. Concrete bunker basically is the building, and all windows are digital. Space. Live character cast members to interact with. There's a Kylo Ren invasion, for anyone who knows who Kylo Ren is. Lightsaber training. Admission to Galaxy's Edge. And it's in the Orlando location. Does a fully immersive event like this, where it is 100% hardcore immersion, you can't break. At no point are you leaving that facility. The only time you leave it is to go do Galaxy's Edge, and you're not able to go to other parts of the theme parks.
Are you just stuck in Star Wars?
Yes.
That sounds terrible.
It's 48 hours locked in Star Wars. And you can't just be bystander in the back. You have to participate in everything.
Sounds terrible.
And you're inside of just concrete walls. Now, granted, it's digital windows, but I kind of feel like people are going to crack in there in 48 hours.
Well, you lose all sense of time without it. Windows.
Yeah.
Unless
yeah.
like they have scenes that kind of portray like the passing of time.
They're in space.
I don't know. Time still passes in space.
No one hears you
So
scream.
you don't see you have no sense of when it becomes day or night.
Well, they use
space.
like a sunrise. Who cares?
I don't know. So, I guess let's kind of break this down. So, 2-day event. Here's the immediate thing that jumped out at me on a 2-day event problem. I go to Orlando. I check in at the Star Wars Hotel. But I want to go to the other parks. 48 hours later, I have to check out from the Star Wars Hotel and then go check in at another hotel and do it all over again.
That has to be stupid expensive. I mean, going to Disney in and of itself is expensive, and then Galaxy's Edge itself is also kind of expensive too. I forget if we talked about the price point one of the last times.
We did in an older event, yeah.
But, between having to go, you have the exclusive pass to Galaxy's Edge, which is probably added into the cost of staying in the hotel. So you're probably paying slightly less than you would normally at a discount. But even so, just that to just do that for 2 days where you can't leave, and then to go explore the rest of Disneyland, you're spending more money on top of that.
Right.
Is going down to Florida worth 48 hours for that? I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't. I would do one or the other. I wouldn't do both.
For one, I don't know why they didn't put this in California. I feel like a 2-day California thing is easier to sell than Orlando, where they have everything else. In California, you've got Disneyland.
Right.
I'm pretty sure the reason they're not is because California's got Avengers Campus opening.
Sure.
So that's going to be their big draw for that location. But I kind of feel like opposite would have been better. I just think they don't have the legal rights to do that because Universal has the X-Men characters and Hulk and
Right.
for Orlando. So there's probably rights issues. But it's just that element of 2 days and then I have to completely redo my whole vacation.
Right. Yeah. It just seems. Again, the cost of that all just seems like really prohibitive.
Now, on your note of cost, Galaxy's Edge is a sinking ship. It's not making money. And it's not just to say, oh, we're not Star Wars fans, so, there's people that are. They're not paying for it. From what I understand, Galaxy's Edge is still missing rides that they opened with, one of 3 attractions. So maybe people are waiting for the other stuff to open. From what I understand, the ride that's open is not even the headliner. It's just more about exploring the land right now. But are people going to wait until the other stuff is open and then pack the house? But as is, no one's packing that house. From what I understand, crew was told to invite family and stuff to make sure people are walking the streets because it's desolate. And when they opened, for example, Pandora, the Avatar ride in Animal Kingdom, that was a 9-hour wait.
Yeah.
When we were there last year, it was, I want to say, 3 or 4 hours, and that was already open for over a year. Disney has their after dark passes and stuff like that if you stay at the resorts, so that this way you can take advantage and do that. But it's just I don't know. I think it's a lot to ask.
No, it certainly is. I mean, I'm sure Star Wars fans would go down there for 2 days, but I couldn't justify going to Disneyland for the Star Wars section of Disneyland for 2 days and then go home. It's not worth it.
No. If I'm going to Disney World, I'm going to everything. Maybe not everything, but I'm going to my favorite parks.
Yeah, and when I travel, I try to justify the length of time it takes to get to that location versus how much time I spend there. And even then, 48 hours for what's the flight? 5 hours?
What, to Florida?
Yeah.
2.
Even so, it's the whole hassle of having to get onto a plane and make all those arrangements for 2 days.
Yeah.
Just seems not worth it.
What I guess cost-wise it would have been more expensive. Maybe they didn't even have the proper property to do it. But I kind of feel like it should have just been a regular hotel that you could stay at.
Yeah.
Your participation stuff is for those 2 days. But that shouldn't mean that you're kicked out at the end of 48 hours. Stay there for the next 3-4 days, whatever you're doing, and then leave. But I know the hotel's not big enough for that. So it's easy to book this hotel out because it's not big.
Yeah.
As far as scale of their resorts goes. Now, it is showing the direction that entertainment's going, that this hotel is immersive theater with performances and stuff like that with in-character, actors. That there's interactive elements, challenges, and puzzles like an escape room. There's some ride elements inside. I know when you're looking out the windows even, there's galactic battles from time to time out the windows that are just on random times. So there's, kind of like when you're walking through a Disney park, there's random shows in the streets. There's random shows in the windows or characters coming through. It's like Chewbacca helps you with your luggage when you arrive. It's silly stuff like that. But, if I'm going to Orlando I think we've said this on a prior episode too, as a family, usually when I go, it's myself, my wife, my daughter now, and my in-laws. Half of those people are going to want nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
So how do you sell that to a family? You're selling this to Star Wars addicts, and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a generational thing, Star Wars fandom. People just show their kids that stuff, which is probably a form of abuse to begin with. No, I mean the fandom of Star Wars runs pretty deep, and it's become even more pronounced with the new films and stuff like that. But I'm sure they'll eventually make money off of it. But I mean, it just like even if I was a Star Wars fan, to me that like as a passive Star Wars fan, that just doesn't seem worth it.
Well, the other element there is back to the whole, it's a concrete bunker, digital windows. It's not a massive resort space. You can only fit so many people in the building, which leads us into the exact same predicament that we tend to fall into, which is when you can only do so many people per showtime, and now your showtime is 2 days, you have to charge more.
Yeah.
Most escape rooms don't really seem to get this concept that you have to have a higher ticket price to justify the fact that you're only letting 10 people in.
Right.
They're going to be in the same boat where it's almost like no matter what, they're going to be stuck charging an arm and a leg because they have to.
Yeah.
They can't get enough people to float through this thing.
I mean, it sounds pretty passive, though, as far as... I mean, like, you're in there, but it doesn't sound like you have to do everything. Like, there's nothing stopping you from just, like, chilling in your room for 2 days.
Right.
But, yeah, I mean, like, it just sounds... It sounds like it would be really cool for, like, maybe, like, 5 or 6 hours before it just becomes, okay, I want to go home. Like, even when I go on vacation, it's like, this is great, but now I want to go home.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough on that. Now, the live character cast member stuff, which kind of ties right into, like, the Kylo Ren invasion. I'd imagine security on this is going to be ridiculous. Because, when the villains storm in,
Yeah.
who's going to be the first to hit a cast member? Even if it's a little kid that's just like, ball punch.
Yeah, I mean, do they do it like at midnight when everyone's trying to sleep? I mean, that would be kind of fun. You're sleeping, all of a sudden, like, the alarms start going off and, like, we're being invaded. You have to defend the ship or whatever.
Well, like,
So,
that almost goes into, we used to talk about, like, with Windward Hotel when it was at the public house, if people had stayed there, having, like, Sarah go in as Emily Taylor, the ghost, and haunt them at, like, 2 in the morning.
Yeah, there's...
Like, it sounds hilarious to us conceptually, but put yourself in the shoes of the guest.
Yeah, that's not going to end well for anybody.
It's like anything after 10 p.m. probably needs to be, by choice, passive.
I mean, the fact that you even make that an option is just asking for trouble, I think, too. It's like, it sounds cool until it's 3 in the morning and fucking stormtroopers kick open your hotel room door.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Oh my god!
I mean, I guess you have nothing to worry about because I can't hit anything anyway. But,
And how many people are going to be, like, cosplaying as, like, 2 of their favorite characters and screwing in bed when they barge in?
yeah, I mean, and then you have the other problem, too, that kind of piggybacks off of that. If they serve alcohol, what's to stop other hotel goers from just doing that to other people?
Yeah, and are you allowed to cosplay? Like, or what if you show up as the characters? Is that allowed? Or do you have to put on Star Wars garb and be like, part of this group?
Yeah, I don't know.
And I think, like, the story takes place on, like, a planet that's not in the movies, or, like, it's referenced but not, it's supposed to be like you're on a cruise in space type of thing. Sort of. But I would be very concerned for the cast. That, how many times do we hear with Boogeyman, like, oh, if it comes too close, I'll be taking a swing. It's like, and we intentionally choreograph Boogeyman so that whenever the Boogeyman shows up, for the most part, they're incapacitated or unable to do that. This is a situation where, like, the characters are storming in and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So, I'd be a little concerned there. Lightsaber training sounds fun. But I almost feel like you're at that point talking about a what the hell is it called with the,
Fencing?
fencing.
Yeah, I guess.
It sounds like a fencing class, but with beams of light that don't really do
It's
anything.
gonna be like the plastic ones that you get at the
I mean,
toy
the-
store.
No, they're gonna make you build your own for $500, and then you can use it in your training
I
session.
mean, I've used some of the stunt sabers that they make, where it's pretty much like this full blown replica of the handles, the
Mhm.
shafts, and then they just have like this.
Glow stick.
No, not even. It's just piece of like fiberglass, like this fiberglass pole that you would find on like traffic reflectors, and they just have that like Allen keyed into the handle, and then you just use that. I mean, they make ones that are like full blown replicas that light up, but I think for like actual training they have like stunt sabers where it's just this fiberglass pole, and you just use that.
That's probably how they'll do it then. I'd imagine they're not going to go way too overly complicated. So that's in a nutshell, though. Star Wars Hotel. That's our opinion on everything going on with it. There is no price point set yet. There is no opening date officially announced. I have a feeling this is still a little ways away, and I also have a feeling they're waiting to see how Galaxy's Edge does over the holiday season before they set a price point. Because holidays are fairly big for the parks.
Yeah.
So, any further comments or last-minute comments on Star Wars Hotel? Negative? Okay. What's next?
Well, essentially,
Nobody.
we got it.
Mobile escape room for students of the electrical trade. Let's see here. Okay. So Mike will be right back. He's downstairs with somebody that walked in. Christina, you're actually out of view. Can you go in a little more that way? There we go. Okay. Encore Electric. That's the company who created this. And the game itself is called Exit the Room, Enter a Career. They're based in Littleton, Colorado. And this has been made to provide insights into the electrical trade in hopes of kind of converting some people that are students now into a career in the electrical field. Oh, we're missing a letter there. That's supposed to say 4 times stations, and it says 4 IMED stations. So we can fix that real quick, guys. We can do it live. Ready?
Wow.
Ready? It's gonna be amazing. I add a T. I put it back. Boom! Now it says 4 times stations.
Wow, really impressive.
Yep. The beauty of live, ladies and gentlemen. Now, the way this kind of works is the students learn to wire some of the props. I don't know how much of this is really a puzzle-centric escape room, as much as, here's a board, insert these 3 wires into these plugs, and the light turns on. Get your each station's light to turn on and whatever, and boom, done deal. Hey, Viva Todd Vegas. Yes, magic. The magic of live. So, do we think this is a good educational tool?
I mean, it sounds like it could be pretty engaging and make it kind of more fun to learn it. I mean, it's hard to say if it's a good educational tool without knowing the program very well.
It's a very small trailer. I would go as far as to say that the trailer is probably smaller than our van and the bed of the van only. So, I don't know. You're not fitting a lot of people in there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I think what Encore is trying to do is kind of cool. I'm sure it gets them some publicity for the company. Are they looking to find the next intern out of this? Oh, you were the first to solve all the puzzles. You get a job at Encore. I didn't want a job at Encore. I just wanted to play an escape room. Nope, you're coming with me. Get in the back of the van. Here's some ice cream, kid. Shut up. So, I don't know. This is it's a little weird. What about you guys out in the YouTube world? What do you guys think about Encore Electric's exit the room, enter a career? Maybe we should do this for interns.
Trapdoor Institute.
Yeah, we'll just we'll put a sign on the van. Pull up the
It's
van.
a horrible starting place.
No, perfect. Our next location will teach carpentry. We'll let the players frame out the set. I'll show them how to do one wall, and then they have to solve the puzzles to frame the rest of the place.
Then you can have them solve the puzzle of running the cables.
Exactly. Then game 2 is run all the cables.
I mean, running the cables is more a puzzle. 'Cause
It's
you
like
have
a
to figure
maze.
out how to get them up without them being seen. Like follow the beams.
It's a
and
maze
you
and hide and go
them.
seek, and yeah, it's great. Learn the connections, just like Encore Electric is doing. And then prop making. I mean, I think this is genius, and we don't ever have to build another game again.
If you trust the work done by them, by random people you pull off the street.
If they don't do it right, they failed the game, and they have to be sent away. Something like that. I don't know. Sounds like a good plan. Maybe it's not, though. This is the first I've seen of a company trying to do something like that. But, you know.
I mean, it's a neat idea. Depends how much you're. I feel like it depends how much you're actually learning from it, whether or not it's really achieving its purpose of being educational.
How much you're learning, but also how puzzle centric really is it?
True.
You know, because like the way this was described in the article, it almost feels like you are literally walking into a room and it's like, you know, here's an Arduino, here's 15 wires, get the LED light to light up and your challenge is complete. Like, that's not really puzzles, that's, you know, it's how it's presented, I guess.
Yeah.
You can make anything a puzzle, but
There's a way to do it where it's a puzzle and educational.
yeah. I wanted to have Mike back before the next topic. What do you think,
Stop.
guys? Should we wait? I mean, we're live. We could talk about something random in the meantime. This guy's asking a million questions. Don't they know we're live?
Gotta lock the door next time.
Vegas, it just seems very odd to me. It seems very odd to us too, Vegas. Is there anything you would like us to talk about? We'd be more than happy to discuss anything you want. Yep, viewer choice. What should we talk about until Mike gets back? Marketing. Okay. Anything specific? Like what element of marketing? Are we talking about like social media marketing, print marketing, guerrilla marketing? Narrow us down a hair. What has been our most effective marketing? Okay, this is a weird one, and this kind of goes to knowing your demographics of a location you open. Poconos. Hands down, we have one form of marketing that towers over anything else, and it's our brochure routes. We have a company that we pay monthly to distribute our brochures across like 35 different brochure rack destinations. It's one company that already has like this route where they drop off brochures and stands, and they drop them in all of the resort casinos and hotels and other attractions in the area, and diners and restaurants, and so that alone, which is about maybe $300 a month, plus the cost of the brochures, which are a few thousand because they require like 8,000 brochures to start. Matter of fact, we have to place another order because they're almost out. That has been our most effective of any location. For $300 a month to be guaranteed thousands and thousands of people seeing your stuff. And when we get bookings constantly, how'd you hear about us? Resort X, Resort Y, Resort, and it's always from those brochure racks. So, that's something that would not be effective for us in Morristown or even in Red Bank. Red Bank, our brochure game is pretty effective because a lot of the other businesses in town are, they've played with us. They enjoy interacting with us. Morristown, not so much. We're usually a little bit of a hassle when we come in to put brochures out in places. But to be able to just say, here's 20 boxes of brochures, and not think about it for the next 6 months, but every week more people come in from that brochure in one of those facilities or locations. Hands down, most effective we've ever done for marketing. What do you think would be second most effective?
I think not that a lot of people say Google too when we ask, because that's a big question when people book is how to hear about us. It's usually either the brochures or Google.
Yeah, at that point, Google.
Play a game.
Now, Google has two different ways you can kind of go. You can either, actually, here we're gonna switch our view out of that topic. Not the one I was looking for. There we go. With Google, you can do either paid through AdWords, or you can do search engine optimization and keyword yourself in so that you show up in results organically. If you need to make a splash quick, paid works, but it costs a lot. So to get your ball rolling, and there was a point we were spending like $20,000 a month on AdWords, if not more. And 1 month where we spent $50,000. Now, having said that, it led to an incredible winter season. But, that was actually last holiday season when we opened Cura Z. We opened it the week of Christmas. We did not have time to advertise. So, AdWorded the shit out of it. But when you can go through SEO and get people to organically find your stuff, and Christina has done a lot of that through blogging and things like that for us, that's a very good way to get a lot of attention as well. But that takes time. You're not going to get that stuff to pop overnight. But having said that, very effective. Everybody Googles everything now.
Yeah.
And then the bigger fight of SEO versus AdWords at the moment would be if you're going to want to keep in mind that most searches right now are escape room near me. So AdWords is irrelevant for that. You got to just make sure that your Google landing page is up to par and has all the relevant info and know some tricks of the trade on that to make sure that your page is attentive. If somebody searches escape room near me, you want to make sure that you're listed at the top. How many reviews you have is going to put an emphasis on that. Your open versus close hours are going to have an emphasis on that. And how many people are searching you versus others or clicking through on you versus others is also going to be part of your ranking on that. So you're going to want to be very particular about making sure that page has content. I don't know if you guys remember Google Plus, when like Google was trying to, or Google Circles I think it was at first, and then it was Plus, when they were trying to have their own social media.
Yeah.
They kind of rolled that into Google Business Pages.
Yeah.
And now that's very standard. So like you can put posts up on there. You can put all different kinds of content up there, and photos of other stuff, and constantly keep it fresh. And then that way that allows you good visibility. It's kind of like having a mini website for your page, like a Facebook business page, that you're able to do posts on and keep up to date. And that stuff ranks for SEO, especially the photos. Photos, I've noticed, rank very well. And our phone will not stop ringing today. That's that guy who called earlier.
The school?
Yeah.
Oh.
Field trip of like 60 children for the Greatest Freak Show. Big games bring big head counts. It's the truth. I did not realize that guy is still downstairs. That's why Mike had to keep running back down.
Yeah.
After SEO and AdWords, probably social media.
Yeah.
I mean, our in-house marketing is also pretty effective because we keep snowballing customers a lot. We have a lot of people that will come in, play with us, and book before they leave. Viva, we do really well with organic search, but how do you get people to search who don't know what escape rooms are? You don't. No. As the industry becomes more and more mass market, that's going to correct itself. When we opened in Red Bank, we were one of incredibly few in the whole country at that point. Before we opened in Red Bank, the language was completely different. So, like, if you were to look up, for example, when we did Windward Hotel, escape room wasn't in the language because there were no escape rooms yet. At least not in the USA at all. So, you kind of have to just tap in. Facebook is effective for that because with Facebook, you can target your demographics' interests. So, like, let's just say a lot of people will do that and they'll just be like, team building, puzzle, escape the room, interactive puzzles, like, stuff like that. We go after what our game is based on. So, like, for example, with Boogeyman, It Chapter 2, Stranger Things, people who have interest in stuff like that are probably going to be more inclined to have a good time with the theme we have. For Cure Z, we targeted the Resident Evil game series, The Walking Dead, Night of the Living Dead fans, like all kinds of zombie-oriented content. Witch Hunt, Salem Witch Trials, blah, blah. Like, it's kind of like taking everything in Freak Show, The Greatest Showman, Disney. It's... Facebook is pretty good for targeting people's interests so that you can get a hold of people who don't really know what an escape room is yet. So do some Facebook advertising and make sure to click to share on Instagram as well. Yep, you're welcome. All right, Mike is back. We can get back to it.
Long-winded potential sale.
Live stream Escape in Space. Well, tonight live at 7 p.m. on Twitch. There is a live streaming escape room project I kind of want to watch. Just to see how they do. It's a joint effort from a group called WGBH, Trapology, and YouTube personalities, The Scories. The Scories are acting in it. I've never heard of them until this article, but apparently a few million people have, because they have over 1 million subscribers. Audience plays the role of mission control. Trapology, from what I understand, designed the game, so it's kind of like this group effort for what they're calling Escape Lab, in which case they're looking to do ongoing streaming efforts. Now, here's the thing. It's free, which means they're counting on viewership that will eventually equate to ad dollars. Unless they're doing like 15 million people, they're not going to make any money. We went down this road back in 2011, and that's why Escape Stream is a membership fee. We try to make it a very valuable membership fee where you've got all the Corks collection and, shameless plug. So Trapdoor Escape Stream is an incredible value for just $11.99 monthly. But it allows us to not have to worry about advertising. There's no way they're going to keep doing this for free without getting advertisers in, or they're going to eventually have to charge, or they're going to lose money and just stop. It's one or the other. But it's an interesting concept. Thoughts on the free model of streaming escape rooms?
It sounds more or less like a weird kind of special event. It doesn't sound like it has any kind of repeat value.
They're saying it's going to be ongoing.
I mean,
this is a pilot.
Yeah, but it's ongoing dependent on how this one goes. So, I mean, it's not necessarily a guaranteed thing. But, how long is it?
Don't know.
I mean,
I'm going to imagine that I would almost guess that this is going to go just like Find Me, where there's no time limit.
It just keeps going.
It just keeps going until it's solved.
Well, I mean, on the
Could
one
be
hand,
wrong.
if there's like a time limit, it's worth being free. I don't think I would pay money to have like a 5-hour game. That can just, it just seems weird to just not be able to walk away from it. So if it's free, it's like, oh, whatever. I'll just put it on in the background and watch it as I go.
One of the things though with we had noticed in the past with the streaming, the ones we've done lately have worked okay in like that 1 hour to 2 hour time frame. But a lot of times, especially if it's free, the longer it goes, the more you pick up audience.
I guess.
It gives time for people to bring others in.
I'm sure they get other people the more time as it becomes more convenient.
And you have to create challenges that are going to be worthy of needing more people.
I mean, are people actively participating in it, or is it
just like ours chat room?
So, but are people are participating in it, or we're just watching these people?
We tell them where to go and what to do, just like ours.
Okay.
We do it through the chat room, just like ours.
Whatever.
So, they'll sit there stumped for a while, and someone will put the right answer in, they'll do it, and move on to the next puzzle. We'll watch it tonight. We'll review it next week.
Yeah.
At least we'll watch some of it. We're really busy tonight. We'll do exactly what you just said. We'll have it on in the background while we're doing other things, and we'll periodically chime in. So, there you go. That's this episode of Puzzle Talk. Those are our topics of the day. We're interested to see how this goes. More people in the streaming space is not a negative thing. It's a good thing. It's more marketing. So, we'll see how they do. And then we'll do better. Because we're us. Anyway, be sure to subscribe, like, share, comment below. We always read your comments and respond. And we will see you next week on Puzzle Talk. I'm Tone, Mike, and Christina. We love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Catch you later.